Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show yet again. I'm here to tell you guys that it is about time that you follow or subscribe to the show wherever you listen. I know y'all are out there listening, and you're not subscribing, and you're not following the show, and I don't like that kind of behavior. You guys know I'm tired of working these garbage jobs, wasting my time. The links are in the description of the show wherever you listen. All the links, all the social media links, all the different platforms. Wherever you listen, all I ask is to subscribe, to follow. Please, I'm begging you. Subscribe, follow, and most importantly, enjoy today's episode. Hello, Mr. Chris Bullock. Thank you for coming on today.
How you doing?
I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
I can't remember when I was on your show, but I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, we just had our 1 year, birthday.
Wow.
Birthday anniversary.
Oh, awesome.
I think 3 weeks ago. So It was shortly after that, because that was when my co-host Kyle was moving back to Bali.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, I need you to come through. And
Yeah.
you came through really short notice, so still appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to be on the other side.
Yeah.
You rarely, at least when you're starting out in the podcast area or whatever the fuck you want to call it, you rarely get to be on someone else's podcast.
Yeah.
But it is a great way of reaching a different audience, I think. You know?
Yeah, it's fun too, and I like the whole podcast area, helping each other out, like us both being in Rhode Island. It's, you can get some viewers from my show, you could bring some viewers over there. I mean, there's another dude, my buddy Josh Fenton. I don't know if he does potato finance.
No.
That's what he calls it.
Yeah.
But he's got a background in finance, so he does a lot of talk with stocks and stuff like that. And sometimes he'll just have random episodes where he brings me on and talks about my show. But it's always fun going on other shows.
Right. Now, tell people while we're already here, what is kind of the premise of your show? What do you do with your show?
So, me and my buddy Kyle started this show, like I said, a little over a year ago. It's called Doubly Negative. It started out as like a mental health thing. We still do stick in that lane for the most part, but, I mean, we don't really strive to stay in that lane. We like to drift off and just have fun with it.
Right.
A lot of times, but it started out where the first episode is called Self-Diagnosing Depression, where we just kind of just talk about being sad guys. But we've kind of branched off from there. A few episodes, we both started going to therapy and stuff, so we talk about that.
Yeah.
We just kind of want to get that stigma away from guys not being able to talk about feelings.
Right. Which is, I don't know, that does come up a lot more often in this generation.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's way more prevalent and accepted now than it was before. I'm watching Sopranos now, and didn't watch it when it first aired. And it's all about Tony going through therapy and stuff and how he's hiding it from all of his friends and stuff like that because he's the mob boss.
Right.
And it's like, damn, they really thought you were nuts if you went to therapy.
Yeah, especially at that extreme.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a mob boss, fuck,
Yeah,
you can't go to therapy.
That seems like a spot where you'd especially need therapy.
Yeah.
Like, I killed the guy, I need to talk through this.
Do you ever watch any of the stuff? I think Vlad TV does a lot of it, where he has like old-time mobsters, and they come on and they talk about what happened in the past.
No, I've never seen that. You're going to have to send me that link.
It's really super interesting. But he had Michael Frances on there. I don't know if you know who that is.
Sounds familiar.
He was known for being like a white-collar mobster. He made a lot of money off of this gas scheme. He was like shaving a cent off every gallon.
Yeah.
And he was making millions and millions of dollars. But they did this segment where he's judging mob movies and
The realism
of it, yeah. And they brought up The Sopranos, and he's like, if a mob boss was talking to a therapist, he'd be found in the trunk with the therapist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It doesn't. Those two don't go together.
Yeah.
At all. I listened to the Crime Town podcast, and that was pretty fascinating.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard that. So, I worked at an Italian restaurant, and one of the Tillinghasts used to come in all the time, Jerry.
Right. He was on the show.
Yeah. So I actually waited on the Crime Town guys while they were talking with Jerry, and they were like, "Can we just have like a quiet table?"
Yeah.
But it's a really busy Italian restaurant, so I gave them one all the way in the back. Didn't work out. They ended up going somewhere else, but I didn't even realize at the time, like, oh, that's Crime Town.
Yeah.
I had no clue, but there was some characters that went through that restaurant.
So Jerry came in, the old man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big guy.
Yeah.
He was the enforcer.
Right. I mean, you listen to the podcast, so you know the story, but...
It's been a while, but...
The story I always tell people is when they were trying to get Buddy to be mayor the first time.
Yeah.
Obviously, the mob had a hand in that, putting signs up and stuffing ballot boxes and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they asked him to do it, and he's like, I don't like that guy. So you guys are going to have to sweeten the deal. And he's like, you got to give me a good job. So they gave him the director of public works in Providence.
Yeah.
But he was a mob guy, and he ended up going to jail for like 20 years for killing somebody.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious that it is true that Rhode Island was ran by the mob.
There was so much corruption.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we still had some corruption.
That's what everyone says.
I feel like you need it. Everyone's like, hey, Buddy did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like you need a little bit of corruption.
Yeah. I guess so. And Jared was on the show, his son. And Jared has a boxing gym not too far from here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he has some crazy stories, but he's an example, and this is always something that I'm always interested in, is seeing somebody break away from whatever their mold is. For him, it was fucking crime and terrible shit, but there's also people who come from a highfalutin family, and they don't want to do what their path is.
Yeah, yeah.
And when someone breaks away from that shit's always interesting to me.
Yeah, it is. I wonder how, like... So these mobsters... I forgot the name of the guy you referenced earlier, but when you break away from it and you're no longer doing that, I don't understand how you can just transition from being this made guy to just an everyday guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because there's a whole genre now of these ex-mobsters that have these huge media presences.
Thank God for the internet, because now they can all still make their cash.
Yeah, like, legitimately.
Mobster makes a podcast, everyone's going to want to hear it. They've got the best stories.
Oh my God, all the time, dude. And Sammy the Bull got out of jail, 2 years now, and he was he's John Gotti's right-hand man.
Yeah.
John Gotti was like the most famous mobster there ever was.
Isn't it rumored that he's not actually his right-hand man, or was that something with the son of Sam?
I don't know. Are you talking about Sammy the Bull wasn't his right-hand man?
Yeah, something like that.
Sammy the Bull was, what's the second in command in the mob? I fucking forget. I have an infatuation. There used to be pictures up in here, and I used to have a picture of all the mob guys, like from movies, sitting around a round table and shit. But I think he was consigliere, maybe. Or he was an underboss right next to Gotti. And he has, like, absolutely crazy stories. And what's crazy about his story is he got off... Well, he didn't get off, but he did, like, 7 years for confirming murders of, like, 8 people.
Yeah.
That's
out. That's not bad. 7 years, 8 people. That's less than a year guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did all right.
He did all right.
Yeah.
But then he gets out and gets busted in, like, an ecstasy ring with his son. Does 20 years at a Supermax.
20 years for ecstasy.
Yeah.
7 years for 8 people. Jesus Christ. I'm totally going to get whacked for saying that, oh yeah, isn't he not actually his right-hand man?
Yeah.
I got to keep my looking out for him.
Right. Your alien's down. Who knows what he even... Because he did the whole... he ratted.
Yeah.
So he did the whole witness relocation shit.
Oh.
He got plastic surgery. He doesn't even look like he looked like when he was younger.
Well, hopefully he's not a Smoking Simian fan, or I'm fine.
Shit, I hope he is, if I'm being honest. Yeah, we'll hide you out.
It'd be good for views if I got murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would know. They'd be like, that guy...
The last thing Chris has on recording is him saying the son of Sam was not the right-hand man.
Right.
So great flex.
What was that? Do you have any knowledge on the son of Sam? Wasn't that a guy who fucking listened to his dog and just killed people?
I think so.
Is that what it was? Because I remember there was a big Netflix doc that was going around.
I don't know. I would be talking out of my ass if I tried to talk about it at all, really. All I know mob-wise right now is Sopranos and Crime Town. I'm going to branch out, though, now, because Sopranos has me on, like, this mob kick.
Yeah. No, if you... There was this this other doc. It was super well made on Netflix about the mob and about the 5 families. And they were... it was made by the FBI people that helped take it down. Rudy Giuliani was a part of it and everything.
Damn.
So it was dope to see it from that perspective.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Because normally it's like a third-person perspective. But anyway, we went off on a pretty mean mob tangent there. But to go back to your show, do you find that having having a specific niche for your show, do you feel like it's a double-edged sword?
Yeah, I feel like it can kind of box you in.
Yeah.
But I also feel like having a specific niche can help you build a bigger niche audience. You know, branching out is awesome, but it can also deter people from listening to your episodes. If one day I'm sports, I'm saying, oh, let's talk about Tom Brady coming out of retirement, and the other day it's, oh, hey, I'm depressed again.
Right.
It kind of can split the audience.
Yeah.
But that's why we like to mix it up a lot in the episodes. Like, we'll touch on a lot of little things.
Right. Yeah, like sometimes I'll see, like I have a friend, his card is actually right there. He does, he cleans sneakers.
Yep.
Which is, for whatever reason, a huge industry right now.
Sneakers are blowing up. I'm like tempted. I want to buy a pair of Yeezys for some reason. I'm not even a shoe guy. I got TJ Maxx shoes on right now. I'm like, I should get Yeezys. Like,
that means he's doing a good fucking job marketing them.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Kanye's got me by the balls right now.
Right. He's got a couple. He's got his balls in someone else's hand at the moment.
Did you see what Pete Davidson texted him the other day?
Yes.
Dude,
he's an animal, huh?
Kanye in a body bag. I don't know whose side to take, because College Dropout's one of the best rap albums of all time, I'll say.
Right.
I love College Dropout.
Right.
But, leave Pete Davidson alone. I mean, he's fucking bipolar. You're nuts, too. Just let him do his thing.
You're Kanye. You can have 1,000 Kim K's.
Dude, did you see the chick he dated, like the one after Julia Fox?
Yeah, I
saw a picture. Looked just like Kim K.
Yeah. He can have it 1,000 times.
Yeah. Dude, that's one of the lines. There's 1,000, and there's one to me, there's 1,000 to you, something like that. I butchered it, but he does say that in the song.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Have you seen the new Kanye doc? I'm not the biggest Kanye fan.
I started it.
Yeah.
I was pretty drunk when I started it, so I got to restart it.
Yeah.
But it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because all that, like, I like old Kanye. Like, the newer stuff, like, I didn't really give Donda a listen, but, like, College Dropout, Late Registration, all that shit, that was my jam.
Right. Well, it's interesting that he has such, like, a high ceiling when it comes to creativity, because when you see the relationship he had with his mom in that documentary, she's always saying, like, everything he does is phenomenal, which, that's a good mom in general. But everything he does is, like, gold. So he was bred to kind of have his head in the clouds when it comes to dreaming and shit like that.
Do you think it's a little dangerous, though, to be told everything you do is amazing?
Yeah. I mean, for the wrong person, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a pretty massive ego right now. Granted, it's worked out for him, but you can breed some nasty people with that. Yeah.
No, totally. You can... But see, a guy that is doing the things that he does on his wavelength, he's going to be way different from everybody else.
Oh, yeah. I feel like in order to be that creative, you got to be a little, like... tapped.
You got to be a crazy person, a little bit.
A little tapped.
Yeah. Especially to be as successful as he is in all the different fields that he is. Like, the fact that he could run for president and people would take it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean... He might even trick me into doing it. Who the hell knows? Like I said, College Dropout, one of my favorite albums of all time. Put him in the White House.
Yeah.
They say when he's making albums, though, he comes off his medication because he's medicated for some mental illness.
Right. Probably a few.
And he said he's not creative when he's on them. Wow. So he goes off of them when he's making an album. And that's probably what's going on right now with his... He's having like a public mental breakdown.
Sure.
And no one in his crew is being like, dude, maybe...
Or maybe they are, and because of how big his ego is, he's like, I think I can do this and I'll be fine.
Yeah, and he's probably just saying, fuck you, get out, to the people that are trying to help him.
Right.
Because, I mean, he's taking it to the point where he's threatening this guy, and people are crazy.
Right.
Like, super Kanye fans, who's to say what they'll do if they see Pete Davidson out in the streets?
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's true.
It's dangerous, but...
That's how a lot of that shit happens when, like, the old rap beef back in the day, if there was... one guy from one region. It wasn't even the crews of the people involved. It's more like the people in the area who feel like they'll be doing that guy a favor.
Yeah, like, he'll like me if I do this. Maybe I can join the crew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are there even rap beefs anymore?
I don't think they're legitimate at all. Like, the last one was, 6ix9ine with everybody?
Oh, yeah.
How
is he still alive?
I don't think anyone cares. I think that there's too much terrible shit that's going on that nobody cares about ratting or anything anymore. Yeah,
that's true. I don't know. Didn't, like, Too Short shoot Meg Thee Stallion or something like that?
No, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah, and he's denying
really
the fuck
short.
out of it.
right?
Yes, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's why I thought he was too short. I'm just mixing words up.
He's bald and short, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't say much about the bald thing. I'm on my way out big time.
Well, why do you think I'm wearing a fucking hood?
30 years old, man. I had a good run.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
That's pretty good. Isn't that crazy? What is it? 3 out of 4 men go bald.
Yeah, it's not fair.
That's wild.
And we get shit. Oh, you got hair plugs. It's like, you got fake tits.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You got fake everything.
Yeah, I'm just getting the aesthetics up.
Look at those fucking brushes you got on your eyelids that you're fucking waving around.
I saw some chick the other day. We were looking at houses, and she had caterpillars on her eyes. I was like, that's too much.
It's so crazy how distorted the image is. It is true. There is a incredibly distorted image for the beauty for women.
Yeah. And
Like-
I blame social media.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yeah.
And, cosmetic companies, that's another one.
And this is what's beautiful. You should look like this.
And it's crazy because some women look worse than they normally would when they add all this shit that everyone says is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Mark Norman had a pretty good bit on this. He's like, who are you doing that for? It's not us.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck what color your nails are.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. What's all this jewelry for? I'm not looking at that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at these.
Right.
That's something like that.
Yeah.
It's a typical Mark Norman joke.
He's awesome.
He's so funny.
He's a fucking animal.
He was in Newport kind of recently. I'm pretty bummed I missed it.
Really?
Yeah. Giannis Pappas is coming soon, though. I'm trying to get there.
Giannis, he's good.
Yeah.
I saw Tim Dillon in Boston.
We both went and saw him.
Yes.
We went to different nights, though.
Yeah,
He
you
was
hit me
awesome.
up. He's fucking ridiculous, dude.
And he can say whatever he wants. He just can't get canceled.
Right.
That rant he had the other day talking about what do I have to say to get canceled? Because like Joe Rogan's getting all this publicity. He's like, what do I have to do?
I don't know. He's like, I'll say cancer isn't real.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, so funny.
he's so brutal.
And he's got one of like the top grossing Patreons there is. He
He makes millions off that.
so awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, it is good because in the age, did you see what happened with the Full Send podcast?
Yeah, that YouTube
got
video
Trump.
got removed.
Yeah, they got Trump on the show like through a video call or some shit.
No, he was in person.
Oh, it was in person.
Because I saw a clip from it, and they were in person talking. And
Yeah.
then they were just like, 50 million views in like 5 hours, you're done.
Yeah, they knocked it off. Dude, that's crazy. That's why things like Patreon are legit. I mean,
Yeah.
Patreon's not taking that down.
I feel like...
They might, but I don't know.
I understand people are saying some crazy shit, but we can take the censoring a little too far, don't you think?
Oh, it's terrible.
Like, don't be a douchebag. Don't... I mean, I don't know. There's got to be a line drawn somewhere.
When it comes to censoring.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like we're going through this phase of overcorrecting right
Yeah.
now, and it'll level out eventually. At least that's my hope.
Yeah.
But who the fuck knows?
Well, it's crazy because the social media platforms, they decide based on like a word or 2 words. Like if you mention, if we were over here talking and I said anti-vax, they'd be like, oh, he said anti-vax, we got to flag him.
Yeah, this is off YouTube. Great job.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Dude, I saw someone posted on Twitter the other day. I don't know if you saw, like Pfizer released their report of like stuff with the vaccine.
No.
Not very widely reported on. Now I'm gonna sound like a fucking conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying what I saw on Twitter.
Right.
And someone posted it on Facebook, like, oh here's like the Pfizer report, and they got flagged.
Right.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't even, context doesn't even exist
No.
anymore.
No.
Like, it's about being, and the other thing is how much information we get. Because news outlets, all that matters is they come first.
They're farming clicks. That's
Yeah.
it. They'll report on the stuff that's gonna get clicked on.
Yeah.
Like for like Aziz Ansari when he got canceled, right? He got canceled. Everyone's like, "Fuck this guy. He did something wrong." And then he was found innocent, told nothing happened, everything's good. Didn't see any articles about that because no one cares when the guy's innocent.
Right.
They just care about, oh, fuck this guy. Let's cancel this guy.
Yeah. I mean,
No one cares about the follow up.
same thing with Portnoy. Portnoy was combating against that whole conspiracy. I don't know if it was a conspiracy. Who knows? I mean, he was able to control the narrative.
He goes right after it.
But once he was able to, control it enough, nobody cared about it anymore. Business Insider stopped talking about it. Nobody was talking about it anymore because he was able to reverse the thinking.
Yeah, I think they did release a second hit piece on him.
Oh,
I didn't
did they?
see much. Or they were threatening it or something. I don't know. It's wild.
No, it is weird. And that's why when you have a guy like Tim Dillon it's like refreshing.
Yeah. That's why I really like History of Hyenas, too. Did you ever check them out?
Who's part of that one?
It was DeStefano and Giannis Pappas. They're not
Right.
a thing anymore. They both went their separate ways, but
Yep.
they would say some ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're kind of challenging this whole, like, don't say stuff into a microphone that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we both were on podcasts.
Yeah.
We got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it can affect you. I always tell people when I come on the show, when I get them on the show, I'm like, get ready to have your careers ruined. Because
This is terrible. Like, way to get them in the mood.
yeah, exactly. No, I had when I did my 100th episode, I had like, I don't know, 6 of us in here just
Yeah.
drinking, screaming, just awful things.
Yeah.
And I think in the description of it, I'm like, we're ruining any future job opportunities here on the show today. Like, just some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But the thing is the reason why the internet is so popular is because you can see that shit.
Yeah.
It's not over, you know, you watch a talk show or something, late night talk show. It's so, like, painted over. You know, like, it's not real at all. It's not authentic.
And I feel like as far as the late night talk show goes, no one gives a fuck about appointment TV anymore. It's not like, oh, I have to be here 8 o'clock. This is when the show starts. Everyone's consuming things so quickly now. That's why the most popular app, TikTok, it's 15-second videos.
Yeah.
Because that's all we want. We don't care. On to the next thing. On to the next.
Yeah.
And
every app has copied that fucking,
yeah.
you know.
Vine started it.
What happened?
Vine started it.
Yeah, oh yeah, they did.
Vine was awesome.
Yeah.
I love Vine.
Vine was just the little 6-second videos. That was... What other social medias kind of came and went like that? It was Vine.
I don't know. Is Tumblr still around?
That's another one. Tumblr. Nobody uses that shit anymore.
No. Blogspot was a thing. I don't know if I ever used that, though.
Yeah. What was that one? What's the one that's out now? I'm forgetting the name of it.
Mark Cuban came up with one. It was called, like, Space Dust or something.
Really?
And it was kind of similar to Snapchat, but I don't think it took off at all.
Trump was supposed to have one. I don't know if it ever came out.
I think it did.
Yeah, right?
I don't think it's on Apple, though. I think Android was like, yeah, fuck it, go ahead. Apple's like, no, dude, come on.
This is a free market.
Yeah.
But it is weird that, I don't know, they would, and I have no political views, if I'm being honest. I don't
Me
care.
either.
I care very rarely.
I got called out for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we were talking on the podcast. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much in the middle. I just want everyone to be happy.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, yeah, you're super boring. You're like a straw man. Pick a side. It's like, I don't want to pick a side. I don't agree with both completely at all. And I'm not educated enough to pick a side. So I'll just be ignorant.
Right.
And not care.
Yeah, or at least, hey, that sounds like a good idea. I
Yeah.
like that. That sounds like a bad idea. I don't like that.
That's wrong. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right. But humans are fucking tribal. We want to argue with each other.
Yeah.
That's why the news feeds into that shit. That's why there was very little coverage. There was no televised event with the Ghislaine trial.
There was nothing.
It wasn't televised. There was nothing. But they had, at the same time, I think it was at the same time, they convicted that woman in wherever she was for mistaking her taser for a gun and killing a
Oh,
kid.
yeah, I saw that video. That's brutal.
That was all over the place because
That's going to incite violence.
it divides us.
Yeah.
Everyone can agree that what Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein were doing was fucking terrible.
Pretty awful, yeah.
Everyone can agree that, though.
Yeah.
There's no side that's like, oh, they were helping those girls. And
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
He funded a lot of great movies.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
yeah. Nobody's on that side. But some people back the blue regardless of what happens. Like,
Yeah.
he's a police officer. She's a police officer. That's fine. And then people are like, no, she killed a fucking guy. So it's easy for people to combat each other.
Yeah, it depends which lens you're looking at it through, I guess.
Yeah. And the reason why I even started talking about that is the fact that Trump was banned off of social media platforms, but, you know, the Taliban, I have a whole bit when I'm on stage, the Taliban can post on Twitter.
Yeah, I did see that one. That's wild.
Yeah.
Taliban on Twitter.
Yeah, they're allowed. They're not allowed on the other ones.
No.
But Twitter,
Same place that said Trump, no. Taliban, yes.
we like you guys. You keep things exciting. Putin, he can fuck around on Twitter.
Can he, though? Is he still allowed on Twitter?
I think
Was
so.
he even on Twitter in the first place?
Probably not.
He's probably a little busy right now. I don't think he's tweeting much. I don't think he's saying much on Twitter right now.
Oh, man, what a maniac. Who would have thought that in our... I guess wars happen all the time, but who would have thought that there would be a hot war happening?
Just sanctions out the ass for Russia.
And he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck.
No, dude. I think there was a poll before the war even started about them invading.
Yeah.
And a large majority of the Russian population said they had no interest in invading Ukraine.
Yeah. They don't. They and it's fucked up because sanctions are supposed to fuck with the people, and the people are supposed to it's supposed to be a catalyst for the leaders of the country to be like, all right, we're fucking our people over. But
yeah, he does not care.
Yeah, exactly.
He does not care.
It's wild.
I think they're all kicked off of social media.
Yeah.
Over in Russia. I think they turned off Instagram. More importantly, Pornhub is no longer accessible in Russia.
In Russia, really?
I think if you're in Russia and you go to Pornhub, a Ukrainian flag pops up.
No way.
I saw that on the internet, so it's got to be true.
That is going to lead to more casualties than anything.
Yeah, everyone's going to be pent up, have all this aggression. And
they're going to have to... What are they going to jerk off to? People walking around outside?
Mental snapshots. I don't know.
That's tough as you get older.
We're going to see some people's true colors coming out.
You could do that as a kid, but as you get older, it's tougher. There's too much in the mind.
Yeah, you're trying to process too much. Now it's just... Yeah. They're back to Home Goods magazines and shit. Give me the swimsuit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you see when Tim Dillon, one of his recent podcasts, he got a guy from Ukraine?
Yeah, the comedian?
Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't really remember the clip because I saw it. I was at work scrolling.
Yeah.
Quick, but I do remember he had him on. He was like, "Can we get him on the show?" And then Ben brought him up. Yeah. He's a lunatic, dude.
Yeah, I know. But again, wild shit. What's the other one? Kill Tony? That's a phenomenal event.
Ever since he got canceled, I guess he's just been wearing a cowboy outfit at all of his shows. Just leaning right into it.
I don't know if you can cancel comics, though. I mean, I guess you can...
Depending on what the crime is. D'Elia went away for a while.
Yes, he's one that kind of disappeared.
He's back, though.
But even still, when I think canceling, I think you've taken away their ability to earn money. They can't do what they do to make money.
Yeah.
But as far as comics go, I mean, a lot of their core audience... As long as you didn't do some fucking terrible shit like Bill Cosby.
Yeah, that's one comedian that was rightfully canceled.
Right, exactly. But there's some people who, as long as you're not doing some real awful shit, their audience kind of sticks with them. So, they can still do shows. They might not make as much money. They might not sell out arenas. But they'll still do shows. They'll still have their podcast. That's also a testament to independence.
The big thing with canceling the comics, with the podcast, they will lose sponsors. I know D'Elia lost sponsors for a while. He's starting to get them back. And I'm pumped about that, but it's, I don't know, it's just scary.
Yeah, no, it is. But it looks like the tide might be turning a little bit. Yeah. A little bit.
You think so?
Just in the sense that, number one, I mean, the biggest thing is after COVID... Everybody kind of realized the sense or the need for independence.
Yep.
Because a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their way of living.
Yeah.
So if you have a way outside of that shit, you can, if you have, I guess you can call it a side gig. That's what everyone calls it. Then that helps, Everyone kind of realized the need for independence. And I think now that comics have that independence, they can go on Patreon and make money without sponsors. You know what I'm saying? It's
exactly.
A crowd-funded thing.
Yeah. My problem with the whole cancel culture thing is when you're coming at someone for what they said 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't have a problem. Now, don't say that stuff. But before, I feel like we didn't know as much. We thought we weren't hurting anyone's feelings. That was what people were it was a joke.
Right.
And they're not saying it now. So it's kind of we're not encouraging growth of humanity. It's okay, they've learned as a person. They don't make those jokes anymore. They know it's not right. That's why they haven't said it since 2003. So why are we
digging it up?
Trying to kill someone for growing as a person? Can't we be all right, you're not a douchebag anymore?
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because it's always been jokes.
Yeah.
As far as comics go, they kind of stand alone. If you're a fan of comedy, you know that it's jokes.
Yeah. If you're actually a malicious piece of shit, then fuck you.
Yeah.
Get canceled. But
exactly.
Their intent isn't to like elicit hatred. It's to elicit laughter.
Right. And Patrice O'Neal he had something to say about this. He's like, all jokes, whether they're funny, not funny, offensive, not offensive, they all come from the same place.
Yeah.
They're all just trying to make you laugh. They're all trying to make the person laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes they don't come out the right way. It doesn't mean that person feels a certain way. Maybe they do, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes you swing and you miss.
Yeah. But. And people grow.
Exactly.
If you're the same person you were 5 years ago, I mean...
That's a problem.
Yeah. That's especially if it was bad.
Yeah, like I can see like growth even in myself over the last year. If you don't look at your time hop and say, wow, why the fuck did I post that? Or like look at posts that you used to put out there and you think, wow, that's kind of cringe. Why would I post that? Like, I think you're not really, on the right trajectory.
Yeah, I mean, that also comes from...
Or it just means you're awesome all the time.
Yeah, some people are that.
Yeah, some people just have nothing but heads.
Some people crush.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right? I mean, that's... Just recently, Tom Brady, he's like, hey, I'm back.
Dude.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Took 40 days in the house and was like, I am so bored.
That's what everyone's saying. I'm like...
I saw a meme of him. They were saying he spent like 40 days picking up the kids from school and said, fuck this. I can't do it.
I'm not doing it. I'll risk further brain damage.
How do you go from being a superstar, borderline MVP quarterback to just house guy? I mean, we talked about this before with the mob, like that transition for those people. It's got to be something similar to like all-star, all-world athlete to just golfer.
Yeah. No, it is, because I've talked about this on here before. It is incredibly interesting to me when you find somebody who has spent most of their life perfecting something, working on one thing. There's that old saying, what is it? Man of many things, but a master of none.
Yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's usually how I put it.
Right. There you go. Jack of all trades, master of none. But the rest of that quote, what I've heard is still better than a master of one.
I've never heard that part.
Right. Which is pretty interesting because when that master of one, Tom Brady, Sammy the Bull Gravano, when they're done, now it's like, can I convert this energy elsewhere?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. Like, how do I live?
Yeah.
I've done this thing for as long as I've fucking been alive, and now it's been taken from me. What the fuck do I do?
And when you perfect it like that, you must have a really hard time being average at something else you're trying.
Yes.
Like you've worked so hard to get to where you are. Okay, I'll start over here and try this.
Yeah.
And then you go back to it, and it's like, man, I was really good at the other thing. I have to do all of this groundwork again?
Yeah.
I can imagine that's tough.
Well, that's people in general. People don't like to be beginners.
No, it sucks.
Yeah. People...
It's the worst.
It is, because you're learning on the job a lot of the time, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... Especially things without clear-cut blueprint paths.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it is you taking a big risk.
Yeah. A lot of uncertainty. That's the thing that gives people the most anxiety.
Yeah.
Even, like, starting a new job, you don't know any of the people there. Like, you have your boys at this job that, you can lean on for help if you need. You're going somewhere you gotta impress. It's, I hate starting new jobs.
It's the worst.
Yeah. I've got anxiety, man. I can't handle it.
Yeah. I've always worked in restaurants, and I know you have as well.
Yeah.
It's something weird when you start a new restaurant job and you smell the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's always been the weirdest thing to me. I'm like, this place smells weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not used to it yet.
Yeah. It's like, this doesn't smell like the last restaurant I worked at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like working in a restaurant, you get pretty tight with your coworkers.
Yeah.
You find some that you hate because they don't do their side work, and you find others that you get drunk with after.
Yes.
You're like, oh, these are my boys / girls.
Yeah.
And you have fun. And then going into a new restaurant's intimidating because those cliques are already formed. Mm-hmm. You got to find which one you're going to fit in with.
Yeah. Being the new guy at the restaurant, everyone's like, oh, we got to teach this motherfucker. Like,
yeah. And no one likes the new guy during the dinner rush.
Yeah.
I don't care how nice of a person you are, you fucking hate the new guy during the dinner rush.
Questions.
Yeah.
Why do you do this? Yeah.
Can you help me with this? Get away from me. Yeah. I've been that guguy too, where I've just snapped.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy in that industry.
I had a much shorter fuse when I was a waiter.
Yeah.
Much shorter fuse.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to have only been working very lightly in the restaurant industry because I realized that when I was working closer to full time as a server, which isn't necessarily 40 hours, but you know, 4 shifts a week, something like that.
It takes a toll.
Oh my God, dude. You're absolutely right in the sense that you do have a shorter fuse when because you're just so stressed. You're just running, especially in a busy place. I know we used to work.
Yeah.
And that place was fucking, it was busy.
Slamming.
Yeah.
And you don't always get respected.
No, that's the thing.
From the people that you're waiting on.
You get desensitized.
Yeah. It's just, oh man, I've had some real freakouts working in a restaurant, so.
Oh, it's a brutal industry.
I do miss it sometimes, though.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, it's a trap.
It is. And you see a lot of people get caught in that trap. Because you do make really good money working in a restaurant.
For the time you work?
Yeah. Exactly.
I have friends, they work 40-hour jobs. They'll pull, I don't know, $500 in their check. And I'm like, I worked 30 hours this week and made $800.
Yeah. And it was a slow week.
yeah, exactly.
It is wild. But you see a lot of people get caught in that trap of like, oh, I'm making good money, I can just stay here. And I almost fell into that as well. I wasn't going to college when I was first serving. I was working at like Applebee's too. That was one of the restaurants I worked at.
Brutal.
And I was like, I'm making good money. And then, there was only so many 15% tips on half-price appetizers I could take. So I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
That is the worst. It's so brutal because so many people don't understand like what extent it is to work in a restaurant, either front or back of house. Like,
dude, I can't imagine ever being a cook in a restaurant. Those guys bust their ass.
Oh, terrible, dude. I used to work at a pizza place as a pizza cook, and it was a small, like, family-run operation. Everyone kind of worked at their own pace. Yeah. And it was actually kind of fun. Yeah. But working in restaurants and seeing what actual restaurants go through, like the cooks in there, dude. Sometimes we do 400 people on a Saturday. Nightmare. Like, there's 8 guys, you guys are going to serve 400 people. Have fun.
Yeah, like, I barely like cooking 2 meals for my wife and I. Yeah. I can't imagine doing it for 70 families a night.
And they work way harder than people in the front. They work way longer hours, and they sometimes get paid less. Yeah. Like, unless you're on salary or you're a sous chef, you have a legitimate position designation. Yeah. You can make good money doing that. Like we were talking about my girlfriend. Like she's doing all right. It's a hard gig. It's still cooking. Yeah. But she has a legitimate designation. You can get paid.
Way more pressure. That's where the more money comes in.
Yes. It also depends how far you want to take it.
Yeah. Just like anything. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, the service industry right now in America is one of the only places that you can work as an unskilled laborer, as an unskilled worker. Yeah. Like, there's not a lot. Obviously, the factory industry is fucking demolished.
Yeah, because all jobs are overseas now.
Yep.
Cheaper. So right. Everything is manufactured over there.
Yeah. So, there's that. The agriculture industry, demolished. Fucking natural gas industry. All the shit that before you could start and learn on the job as an unskilled laborer doesn't exist anymore. It's the service industry now. That's all there is.
Yeah. It really is, because even, like, a lot of these union jobs, you got to take these courses to get your certification and start doing that. There's no just pick up and go. Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I guess it can either be a testament to progress or it can be a testament to an immense wage gap. I think it's a little of both, and like 80% of the second one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. Because a lot of the times... But that's the thing, right? The unskilled work now, for the most part, it's not conducive to the, I don't know, born citizens of the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the back of the house, doesn't matter what restaurant you work in, it's mostly Guatemalans. Yeah. Right? It's mostly Hispanic people. In my experience. Yeah. And they work like motherfuckers because white people aren't going to do that. No. We're not gonna sit over a fryer later 16 hours a day.
I'm a pussy, dude. I couldn't handle it. I'd be like, it's hot back here. Like, I wouldn't last a day on that line. Mm-hmm. Would not last a day.
Yeah, I mean, it is a brutal industry, and I think you get so close to everybody because you all just, I call it going to war. Yeah. For 3 hours a night, 6 to 9, you're running around like an asshole all together. Everybody is just one big asshole.
Yeah.
Collectively running around.
Yeah. I feel like I learned so much about just people in general, though, working in the restaurant industry. And my people skills have improved dramatically because of it. I was always a super shy kid. I still am pretty shy, but I know how to put on a face and, have conversations with people, which is something I was not good at before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it definitely... I think we talked about this when I was on your show. There's a lot to be taken from having a job like that.
Yeah.
And the biggest one is people skills.
Yeah.
You learn how to read the room, which
Yeah.
I think is a huge thing.
One of my first jobs, for my career, having a restaurant job, background had helped me get into it because it was customer facing.
Yeah.
So that helped me land a job that started my career. So definitely something to take out of that.
Yeah. I mean, there's some jobs that require you, 5 years of communications. Well, motherfucker, I've been serving for 5 years.
Yeah.
I've been communicating a lot.
Yeah, I communicate way too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the other thing that's dragging about the industry. If you're in the front of house, where the back of house has the advantage, you don't need to fucking deal with anybody.
Yeah.
Except for servers, right? Which we know can be problematic.
Yep.
But as far as customers, they don't got to worry about shit. They don't got to talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I've had a few instances where me and the cooks just getting in fights. It was bad, especially because I met my wife in the restaurant business where we were working together.
Yeah.
And those cooks love catcalling, dude.
Oh, they love it.
So it would just be like me and some of the cooks having screaming matches in the back. It's like, I'm going to get fired. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I can't do this. I could be fighting at work.
There was this girl that I work with, and she's like, I want French fries. Said it all girly and shit. And I'm like, go tell the cook what you just said the exact same way, and he'll make you as many fucking French fries as you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, hey, dude, you want to give me some of those fries? They're like, get the fuck out of here. The girl goes back, hey, can I get some fries? Here you go, beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
So flirty, dude.
It's like giving them... That's the other thing. It's such an unprofessional industry.
Even working in corporate, it's very unprofessional.
Yeah.
They do things by the books, but the workers are not. It's not a professional.
Yeah, it's just sexual harassment the whole time.
It's bad.
The entire
it's bad
time.
in the restaurant, dude. It's not. You can't believe some of the shit you see in there. Everyone's fucking each other. It's it's a shit show where you can make money.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you can deal with stress.
Yeah, it does help with high stress situations, man.
Yeah.
Friday night, you got 10 tables and you forgot to ring in table 4's food. This one's asking for drinks and they haven't even been seated yet. It's what am I going to do right now? Just pulling yourself out of a hole.
Yeah. That's why sometimes on, you'll see on LinkedIn or on job postings or whatever, they're looking for restaurant workers.
Yeah.
But it's a job for sales or it's a job for communications or some shit like that.
Yeah. You really do build those skills, man. Just high pressure situations with a lot of different people wanting different things, being able to organize all those and make people happy. It goes such a long way with especially a sales job.
Right. Now, how have you been training much?
So I recently put jiu-jitsu on hold.
Yeah.
Because work in Middletown, live in Coventry, gym's in Pawtucket.
Oh.
So I was kind of slowing down the training and just getting fat.
Right.
So I put that on hold and I'm back to powerlifting.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I'm doing.
So you powerlifted before jiu-jitsu or during or?
Before jiu-jitsu. And then one of my buddies was like, hey, come to jiu-jitsu, try it out. Went to jiu-jitsu, never lifted again. But I had pretty respectable numbers back in the day other than bench. And going back and being significantly weaker and heavier, it's a real shot to the ego.
Yeah.
It's fuck, man, I was doing it. If I had never stopped, where would I be now?
Yes.
But I don't regret it.
Right.
I still love jiu-jitsu. Once if I move closer to the school or get a different job, going right back there.
Right.
But just lifting for now, trying to get jacked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't grappled in ages, dude.
You miss it?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, grappling is... when it comes to fighting, if I were to fight somebody, I'd probably want to stay on the feet because I like striking. I like fighting.
Oh, yeah, you have a striking background, too.
Yeah. And I prefer it. I have a longer striking... I don't want to say pedigree. I don't know if that's a fancy word, but I don't know, repertoire
I'll allow
maybe.
it.
Yeah, fuck it. Pedigree, goddammit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just done striking for longer, but I mean, you see it now in MMA, especially in the UFC. Grappling, specifically wrestling, continues to be the number one discipline.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, like, Khabib, one of the most dominant fighters. I was watching his fight versus Michael Johnson today while I was at work.
Dude.
That was insane.
Scary.
He made Michael Johnson look like he's never been in a ring before.
It looked like he was playing with his son.
Yeah, just holding him down and beating the piss out of him.
Talking to him the whole time.
How he didn't, like, I would tap to punches. I'd be like, I can't, what you're doing to me right now is not okay. There's lifelong ramifications to what's happening to my face and my brain.
That's right.
It's insane.
And all the people from that region that he's brought with him.
That new dude, Islam, right? That's his name?
That's his cousin, yeah.
Fucking...
Very similar.
Even you saw Masvidal and Covington
a
couple weeks ago.
Wrestling.
Covington's wrestling is top notch, dude. You see some of the transitions he's making when Masvidal's trying to get out. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's a step ahead.
Yeah.
He almost hovers.
Yeah. I wanted Masvidal to take that just because I'm not a big fan of Covington.
Right.
His shtick is just too over the top. I understand it's part of the game to make money, but it's too WWE and seems fake to me. So I'm like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And I was watching it with a buddy, and I'm always talking like, oh yeah, I love the grapplers. The people that say stand up and bang don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then during that fight, I'm going, stand up.
yeah.
Just completely switching the narrative, dude.
Yeah. No, I mean, everybody loves Masvidal. Masvidal is one of the top selling guys at the moment. I mean,
but he hasn't really won much of anything.
He's lost his
recently.
last 3.
It's like Nate Diaz, dude. He got tuned up his last fight.
Yeah.
Landed one good shot, and the guy pointed at him, and everyone was like, Nate Diaz won that fight. It's like, no, he didn't.
Right.
But everyone wanted him to win.
Well, see, here's the thing. The Diaz brothers, they've said it before. They have this philosophy when it comes to fighting that the climax of the fight is the most important part.
Yeah.
And in that fight, the climax was Leon Edwards getting wobbled.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason it was the climax is because Nate was getting his ass beat the whole rest of the fight.
And no one could believe he got a shot in. They're like, oh my God.
Exactly. So he came and wobbled him. Now, again, I bring to you this example, and I've said this before to people. Did you watch the first fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder?
I did. That was a little while ago, though.
A little while
My
ago.
memory's a little foggy.
It's when he gets dropped and he sits up in the 12th round, like The Undertaker.
Oh,
Yeah. And then everyone's like, and then it went to a draw when Tyson Fury won like 10 out of the 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And it went to a draw. So the point that I try to bring to people to try to make sense of a draw like that is like, okay, 10-round fight, a real fight in real life, not in a sport. Let's say it's 10 seconds, right? Because a real fight in real life, it's short.
Yeah.
It gets broken up or whatever. Let's say it's 10 seconds. Now, for 8 of those 10 seconds, one of the guys is doing well. He's piecing him up. He's beating the guy up. In the last 2 seconds, the other guy rocks the dude and drops him. Doesn't knock him out, but drops him. Who wins that fight?
I'm going to say the guy that dropped him.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then...
There's no point system in the streets, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no point. And that's what some of these guys think, especially the Diaz brothers. So they're like, we're in a sport, but in real life, I wobbled you in front of everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like you couldn't get me out of here in 4.5 rounds, and I almost finished you in the 5th round.
But you see people like that all the time that are just like so skilled. They know, all right, just take my points here, not take much of a beating, and then wait the rest of the fight out.
Yes. Yeah. I've also seen that where it's like you see a fighter and they're kind of doing their thing, and it might not be working right now, and they don't switch their game plan up because I think in their mind they don't lose, they just run out of time. So let me keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, which is an interesting thing because that means you have complete fucking confidence in your game plan.
Yeah.
Like you watch a Floyd Mayweather or, Floyd Mayweather. Fuck it, we'll say Floyd Mayweather. There were fights where at the beginning of the fight or the middle of the fight, it's tide's turning.
Yep.
And he kept doing what he's doing, and he ends up winning.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes it doesn't work that way, where you have like I don't know how big you are into boxing.
I'm not big in boxing at all.
Right. Do you know what Lomachenko is?
Name sounds
Vasily
familiar.
Lomachenko?
Yeah. I've heard the name.
He was like the guy at, I don't know, 170 137 pounds, whatever the boxing weight class is.
Yeah.
140 pounds. He was the guy. And this other kid, Teofimo Lopez, who ended up beating him, he ended up winning. But throughout that fight, Lomachenko ended up winning the later rounds. Mm-hmm. And he just kept doing what he was doing. But that was an instance where too little, too late.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a fine line.
Do you think... Well, I don't know much about boxing scoring or fighting scoring in general.
Yeah.
Do judges take into account, like... All right, if this fight were to go another round, who looks like they're going to take it? You know what I mean? Like, if you see, like, John Jones after his fights, he's barely sweating.
Yeah.
Like, he's ready to keep going.
I don't know. I mean, that's definitely... Now that you say it, I can see how that would be...
Yeah.
I know that judges will give rounds to people based on body language.
Really? If it's a close, like, impossible to score?
Yeah, if it's close and one guy is looking like he's kind of taking a beating.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of physically taking a beating, but he's still in the fight. It's close, but the body language is like, to the judges, he looks hurt. He doesn't look like he's, you know?
That's the thing about Diaz, too. He gets cut so easily.
Yeah.
Just because he's been doing it for so long.
Yep.
So he just starts leaking immediately.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. A lot of fighters, they don't give a fuck about the cuts because they know it's not a big deal. It's just my face.
I feel like he loses a lot of blood, though. Like, that happened in the Masvidal fight, too. I'm like, what is going on? He's not going to have any blood left in his head after this fight.
That one was crazy because it was like almost a C. They almost connected. I think that's why they stopped the fight.
Yeah. Was that a sharp elbow that hit him, or was that just from a punch? I don't remember.
I think he got... So, his left eye, I think it's his left eye, that you fucking sneeze on it. That motherfucker opens up every time.
If he sneezes, it opens up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad.
Above his eye, that shit always opens. But under here, that opened as Masvidal kicked him in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he was like kind of going down, and Masvidal said, wham, kicked him in his face on the way down.
Yeah.
I think that opened the cut down here.
Yeah. Aren't they kind of teasing a McGregor and Diaz fight again?
Hey, I think everyone wants to see it.
I think it would be the perfect fight for Conor to come back, get a win, and then people pretend he's the best again.
Yeah.
That's just like even with the Cerrone fight. It's like, oh, he knocked out Cerrone within a minute. It's like, Cerrone also had like 15 fights in a year.
Yeah.
He's towards the end of his career.
Right. How many fights did he lose before that?
Yeah. Then you put him in someone that's like contending for the title, and Conor gets knocked out.
Yeah. No, exactly. He hasn't won a meaningful matchup since Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like they're going to milk this cow for as long as they can. He gets injured, he comes back, he fights some journeyman, looks kind of good, all right. Fights someone that's really good, gets knocked out. They're going to milk that as long as they can because he still brings in the cash.
This is craziness. There are talks of him coming back and fighting for the belt off rip.
That would be so stupid.
Isn't that crazy?
That would be so stupid.
Right now, it looks like it's going to be Gaethje versus Oliveira for the 155
I like that a lot.
strap. That's a phenomenal fight. Oh, my God.
I'm a big Oliveira guy.
He's a beast, dude.
Yeah, he's just so like undeniable on the ground.
Yeah.
He just does what he wants. Which is why, like, Khabib's one of my favorite fighters. He would just hold you down and beat the piss out of you. And there was nothing you could do about it.
A lot of guys that had no response. I mean...
There's nothing you can do.
One of the guys who was able to do anything to him was Ally Quinta.
Yep.
Because he was the only one that was able to kind of stuff some takedown. I mean, he lost decidingly.
Yeah.
But he forced Khabib to kind of fight on the feet for a little bit.
Yeah.
In a time where Khabib was still kind of green on the feet. Like, he wasn't, he's still working on his stand-up game. And people forget, man, and I'm not a huge Conor... I like Conor McGregor. He's a fucking legend, whatever, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Big fan, but he did pretty well against Khabib.
He did.
He lost and got choked out, but he won a round, arguably. First round that Khabib's ever lost on a scorecard.
Yeah. Because he did catch him. Because Khabib was trying to stand up with him.
Yeah.
And like, just take him down and beat the piss out of him, dude.
Yeah.
I was the only one in the bar that night that was pumped that Khabib won. Only one.
How crazy was it when he jumped over the fucking...
That was wild.
Yeah. Nothing like that.
There was true hatred.
Yeah.
They truly hated each other.
Still is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Khabib never wanted to give him another fight.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm not going to let this guy get paid off of this. I already choked him out.
Yeah. He's a habitual line stepper,
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He loves going over the line. And now that's what Colby's doing, too. Didn't he go after Dustin's wife and kids or something?
Yeah.
Leave them out of it.
He called him a cuck.
He is funny, but like, leave the families out of it, dude.
Right. Yeah. He had an interesting point though. He's like, all right, I'm talking all this shit. It's terrible. I'm talking about families and religions and nations and all this shit. But do you think that if I didn't say those things, my opponent is going to take it easier on me? Probably not.
No.
But, again, in the realm of decency, people don't want to see him say all that shit, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, people tune in to watch him get his ass beat.
But he backs it up.
It doesn't happen very often. He doesn't lose very often.
I saw a video, because he called some religion, like, sheep fuckers, didn't he?
He might have.
Yeah, and the
Probably
people,
like a Muslim, like
and
Khabib, yeah.
some Muslims ran into him like, "What did you say about us?" And like they were filming. He's like, "No, I didn't mean any of that. Like, I'm just doing it for the sport, man."
I know.
I gotta find that clip.
Yeah,
it's funny. I gotta send it to you.
What did Khabib say? He said he has so much confidence in Islam, his cousin, that he's like, I want Islam to get the belt, become champion, and then fight Conor.
That would be awesome.
And then he said, if Conor, he's like, I have so much confidence in Islam that he'll beat him, he'll choke him out, whatever, that if Conor beats him, I'll come back and I'll fight Conor.
Wow.
That's what he said.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Khabib looks like he's up a couple weight classes right now. Good weight, not calling him out of shape. He just obviously has been fighting, so he's not cutting like a madman.
Right. And he doesn't need to maintain any specific weight, you know?
Yeah, what's the point?
I mean, that guy probably eats like a bear.
Oh, I can imagine. He wrestles them. He's got to eat like them, you know?
Well, he used to have problems making 155.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital, like, when he was supposed to fight Tony four times. Like, he went to the hospital one time.
How sad is that saga?
Terrible.
They were supposed to fight at the peak. Tony, it was like right after the Johnson fight, because Tony was up there in the ranks, too.
Yeah.
And then Tony, like, tripped over a wire, hurt himself.
By that point, the fight was so big, because that was the fourth time they tried to make it.
Yep.
They were both champions. Tony won the interim belt when he beat, what's the dude who just left? Kevin Lee.
Yep.
He beat Kevin Lee, choked him out off his back. And he won the interim belt, and Khabib had just become champion by beating Ally Quinta.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's like, this is legit. This is two champs. Someone's going to unify the division. And then all the build-up was crazy, and then boom, Tony rips his fucking leg apart.
Yeah. Tony's fighting soon. I think he's on one of the next couple cards.
He's supposed to be fighting Chandler, which would be interesting.
Because he fought Gaethje last, right?
No, he fought... Gaethje was the one who kind of, like, started his decline.
Yeah, that was the fight where he had to, like, shake his head into consciousness. That's when I was like, fuck, Tony's done, dude.
He was... And what's crazy about that fight is he dropped Justin in the second round right at the buzzer.
Yeah.
He hit him with an uppercut and it said, "Bwamp," but Justin dropped.
Yeah.
Who knows if he had a minute left?
Oh, yeah,
you know?
seriously. If that happens a little earlier in the round, he could
have finished him.
But
it's only so long, dude. I mean, you have such a short window as an elite fighter.
Yeah.
Like
elite athletes in general.
Yeah.
It really fucks me up because I was listening to the radio and on the way here at Sports Hub, they were talking like, oh, Bobby Wagner, he's 31. It's kind of old. And I was like, what, dude, I'm 30.
Yeah.
What the hell? That makes me feel old as shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're pushing your body to that limit.
Yeah.
Now, Wagner he played for the Seahawks, correct?
Yeah.
And he got traded, or he got dropped.
They cut him, yeah.
They cut him, yeah. I mean, in the NFL, those guys are on some shit, if we're being honest. Most of them are.
It's crazy that they're like, yeah, no failed drug test this year.
What are you guys testing for?
It's an intelligence test. All right,
Yeah.
We're going to test you this week, and then if you pass that, you're good.
Yeah.
Sure thing, boss.
You're 220 pounds, you're 6'6", and you run 40 meters in 4.3 seconds.
And you also have 2% body fat. Not obviously 2% is an exaggeration, but
we're barely the same thing.
Yeah, we're not the same. We're not the same.
Yeah. Which is crazy. I mean, and it's funny as you get older, you start to realize how many people are on shit that you never thought. Like as a teenager who was in the gym fairly often, my guys that I would watch were absolute roid heads. Rich Paena, Ronnie Coleman, like just absolute animals. And there were some guys where I'm like, all right, they're on the juice. I get it. Mm-hmm. But then there are other guys who are like, no, that guy's legit. He's legit.
And some people try to play it off like they are.
Yeah. Liver King.
Yeah, I'm all natural, bro. Fuck that.
I eat raw liver. I'm fucking
Yeah.
240.
Great sales scheme, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what that guy's background is.
No, I know nothing about him.
He's a millionaire off of sports supplements. He has like some kind of, I don't know, sport supplement brand that he made a lot of money off of.
Yeah.
So now he's out preaching this way of living that he calls, that he deems closer to how humans are supposed to live.
Doing simulated hunts and shit.
Yeah, like it's weird.
Chill out.
It's weird.
Chill out.
You're on something, bro. It's not...
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. Just say it.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever start taking shit, which I want to do...
Yeah. Who gives
I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
I'll post an IG live of me putting it in my ass, dude. The syringe. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, once you get to a certain age, it's not the... I mean, who cares?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
TRT.
it's almost recommended.
It's
TRT.
good for you.
Yeah.
Testosterone. It's not like... I'm not saying I'm going to go get some trenbolone.
Yeah.
You know, a little testosterone replacement therapy. That's... Well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Do you want energy when you're 53? Like,
yeah. I certainly do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm close enough to 53. I think I can start taking it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're not in some form of competition that bans that substance, then who gives a fuck? If you work at fucking T-Mobile
yeah.
and you want your nuts to be full, you should be allowed to.
Exactly. Fill your nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just another thing that has a stigma around it that I feel like it's unwarranted. Because you can do those. Even... I don't even want to get into it, actually, because I'll just be talking out of my ass. I watched one documentary, and I think I'm an expert. Bigger, Stronger, Faster.
What is that? What's that
it's
about?
Mark Bell's brother.
Okay.
He does all these studies on steroids and how you can take them safely, yada, yada, yada. But after I watched that, I was like, okay, I'm an expert as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to do these. But knowing me, I would be so inconsistent. Like, I was supposed to take a shot today and I didn't. And then I would just completely fuck my body out of whack.
Yeah.
But you can do it safely, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when Ronnie Coleman was on JRE, he was talking about how all of his shit was prescribed.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like, all my shit was from doctors. I didn't fuck around with, you know...
Got it in the mail from some overseas person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times what happens with some athletes, and you can take this with a grain of salt, they get a tainted supplement.
Yeah. People are making it in the tub.
Yeah, exactly, with other shit.
Yeah.
We just washed out a new batch of heroin. Let's clean this out, and now let's make our pre-workout.
Now we've got some moonshine as well.
Yeah,
you are?
Exactly.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But most athletes are on something. Like,
yeah.
Most elite athletes, you don't get there by just, eating your vegetables, and it's very rare these days.
Do you remember that with Peyton Manning where they're like, they had steroids mailed to his address, and he was like, oh, that was for my wife. And you're like, all right, you got it, Peyton.
Yeah. I heard somewhere that there was I forget which baseball player it was, but he was getting a supplement of some type of steroid, whether it was EPO, some performance-enhancing drug. He was getting it at the beginning of the game, and by the, 7th inning, it was out of his system. He went to go take a leak, it was out of his system, he'd never get caught. Yeah, he would take it during, I forget which athlete it was.
That's wild.
I feel like it was a big-name one, like it was a big-name baseball player.
Was it back during, like, the steroid era of baseball?
Yes.
Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Jose Canseco, those are the big players.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, there's 1,000 of them. Yeah. I mean, some of those guys that you named look like they were doing a little more blatantly.
That was so blatant.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds was like 160 soaking wet his rookie year.
Yeah.
And then he was just massive with a head the size of a planet.
Yeah, and hitting, how many home runs did he get?
I don't know, a shit ton.
Yeah. Which is insane, right? And he's still not in the Hall of Fame.
Which is dumb.
Yeah, I mean, who gives a fuck?
I'm pretty sure David Ortiz, I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan, but I'm pretty sure David Ortiz got popped and he still got inducted first ballot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they pick and choose.
The baseball writers are so, I don't know, just keep your personal agenda out of it.
Yeah.
Like, Kurt Schilling's not in there because, he's kind of turned out to be a dickhead afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, we're talking about baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing with Pete Rose. Like, how's that motherfucker still not in? He
was gambling on games. He could have been shaven. You see Calvin Ridley in the Falcons?
Yes, yeah. I did.
Dude, if you look at the suspensions, Ray Rice knocked his girlfriend out in an elevator. 2 games. Calvin Ridley used FanDuel whole year.
That's insane. Well, it's a way worse look for the NFL that they have a player that's gambling.
He wasn't playing that year, though.
Right. But as far as the NFL goes, it's like, we got a bunch of guys who beat their wives.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of guys we can...
That's kind of normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These guys get hit in the head all day. I'm sure they flash out every once in a while. They got to slap somebody.
Yeah.
So, it looks worse as far as the NFL. Like, hey, this guy was gambling on games. We can't have that. We can't have that at all. Which is crazy,
And, I mean, the NFL is getting a lot of revenue from gambling as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's one of those things where... You're going to punish someone for doing it, but you profit off of this so much. Even when it comes to, like, ratings and stuff. Like, how many Thursday night football games do you think people are watching if it's, like, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Jets? None,
no.
But
especially today.
I'll put some money on that. I'll watch it to the fucking end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching the whole game.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny what betting does. Like, I know people that, they're not even degenerate gamblers, but they might just throw stupid bets in on stuff.
Just fun.
And
I do it.
Like, yeah.
During football. I'm going to the sportsbook Saturday to bet on college basketball. I don't know shit about college basketball. I watch PC, but I don't know anything else.
No, me either.
But I'm going to go bet on it.
Yeah.
Just because it's fun.
You never know. I mean, I rarely fucking win. I did a show at Mohegan, a couple weeks ago.
How was that? I saw that you posted that.
It was a little weird.
Yeah?
It was a little strange. I'll tell you why. But it was the first time I won any money in a casino.
Yeah.
And it was the money I got paid off the gig, and it was like $35, and I went to go gamble it, and I made I walked with like $115.
There you go.
I'm like, hey, fuck it.
Yeah. Just tell people you made over $100 doing comedy.
Exactly.
That didn't go in any slots or anything.
But yeah, the weird thing about that show was I was doing something called a bringer show, and what that is, it's kind of like the next step for a person or for a comic that's only kind of been doing open mics.
Yep.
And they go ahead and they're like, a bringer show is a show at an actual comedy club, usually, which gives early comedians like a taste of working in a club. Because
if you're going there with a bunch of other comedians, I'm assuming bringer, like you're bringing fans with you.
Yeah.
And, you have a bunch of other people on the show, so hopefully you can kind of fill it up.
Yes, exactly. And what had happened was there were supposed to be 8 comics. 5 of them dropped out. Like, more or less the day of.
Did your set time go up?
I wish. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But it didn't. They had to kind of, like, piece the show together with what they had. But anyway, 8 comics. That means we were supposed to bring at least 4 people to get on the show.
Yeah.
You get paid 5 a head, like 5 per person.
Yeah.
So, whatever. You're supposed to bring 4 people, so if there's 8 of us, 4 people, that's 30-something people, but you usually get more than 4. Like, I brought 7.
Yeah.
But now there's 3 comics, right? So the crowd's going to be smaller naturally because it's just a bringer show. There's no featured headliner that anybody knows about that's going to show up.
Yeah.
And there's 3 comics who are doing 5 minutes apiece who are considered to be beginners.
Yeah.
So now I brought 7 people. The kid after me brought fucking damn near 20 people.
That's awesome.
And the kid after him brought 13, 15, something like that.
That's a solid turnout, though. Considering you only need to bring 4 ahead.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you went there and all you brought 4.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's only fucking 12 people in the crowd.
Yeah. Gotta look at the bright side.
Right. And the thing is an audience is an audience. You got a group of people that'll listen. Congratulations, that's a fucking plus.
Yeah, probably kind of takes the edge off a little bit too.
Yeah.
And gives you a little more like more of a leash to kind of work on some of the stuff you're trying to work out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But what I learned after that gig was like, okay, you have fucking 2/3 of the crowd is waiting to watch this guy. Mm-hmm. Another third of the crowd is waiting to watch this guy. They're kind of not paying attention to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they have a specific idea of what they're going to expect from their friend that's up there.
Yeah.
They're kind of closed-minded about everything else.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
When you have, like, a bigger audience, you have more styles of more senses of humor, I should say.
Yeah.
So you could get a pocket over there that finds you funny.
Yeah.
And they carry the laughter to these people, and it kind of bounces around. Whereas if you have a real condensed, 20 people are here for this guy, 10 people are here for this guy, there's 40 people in the crowd, it's a little weird, kind of a weird vibe.
Yeah.
But again, part of the gig. You go up, you try. It is what the fuck it is.
Yeah. So before we started recording, I didn't forget about this. You said you had a PTSD moment.
Yeah.
I gotta hear about it. I gotta hear about it.
Right. I tell this story all the time, and it's fun. I like telling it. So
let's relive your past traumas.
Yeah, exactly. So the first time I started doing comedy, like I said, I was like 19. Mm-hmm. And I had been doing open mics, not a lot of them, not in any capacity that I'm doing now. Like now I try to do 3 or 4 mics a week. I'm really dedicated to the craft at this point. But back then, I was just trying it out. I'd do like 1 mic a week.
Yeah.
I was writing jokes, but not really like workshopping them and really trying.
Yeah.
I'd write like funny quips, whatever. And at this point, and plus you're 19, you're 18, you care what people think. You're a little more nervous to go and really be yourself in front of people.
You lose that give a fuck factor as you get older.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why you see so many grandpas and fathers just farting in public.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or in the gym walking around butt ass naked.
Yeah. Just dude, not to derail your story here, but I used to go to a gym. It was a lot of old people there because it was a health club, but I got a really sick discount. They had a pool, they had, the whole nine. And guys would just foot up on the bench, talk out, how's it going, brother? And it's like, get that out of my face, dude.
While you're in your locker, not so here.
Like, you look to the right, it's like, oh, hey, dude. Like, get that away from me.
Dude, they talk to each other naked.
They love it.
It's crazy.
I couldn't imagine.
I've always wondered, I said this when I was younger, I'm like, when I first started going to the gym, I'm like, what happens in a man's life that by the time they're 65, they can walk around butt-ass naked in a locker room?
Do not care. I wonder if, our generation is going to get to that, cocks out in the locker room level of confidence.
Yeah. Because I've realized as I've gotten older, I don't mind changing. Quick. I'll change quick in front of a bunch of people.
I'm still not taking my cock out.
I might.
Depends who I'm around.
But, yeah, no, that is fucking weird. But you're right. You do lose some of that give a fuck.
Yeah.
As you get a little older. But yeah, so I was real tentative up there. I was trying, but I wasn't knee deep in it like I am now. But anyway, I had a little success with a couple jokes. I did a show at the Comedy Connection, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That place is awesome.
I did a show there last night. It was great.
Yeah, I saw you posted about it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And after a while I decided to do a comedy contest. And it was in front of probably my biggest audience. It was at a pub in Cranston. And it was actually near where you used to work, the pub on Park.
Oh, okay.
Connected to the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in that pub, they probably had, 100 people in there. So pretty good for a guy who's been doing comedy lightly for a few months.
Yeah.
However, I had no idea how to go about it. I didn't know that I should be going up there with some stuff that works, some jokes that I've already tried.
Yeah.
Instead, I went up there with some completely new shit. Completely new shit, only stuff that I've said in my room. You know what I'm saying? I haven't even tried it in front of audiences yet.
Yeah.
It was completely brand new. And it was harsh material. It was stuff that you can't kind of bomb on and not look like an asshole.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I had this joke. It was, and the premise is funny, right? Before people, and I've told this on here, so whatever.
Okay, I was going to say.
No. The premise is funny. I had this joke where, okay, imagine if the roles of slavery were switched.
Dangerous premise already.
Yes, very dangerous. But when you hear the part that I try to make funny, it was okay, kings in Africa, they went all the way to England, and they took up a bunch of white guys, and they brought them back to Africa to till the fields in Africa. And my joke was oh, white people are going to be bitching the whole time. I need sunscreen. Where's my Starbucks? That type of thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't word it in a funny way.
Yeah.
The premise could be funny, but I didn't make it funny.
Yeah.
So that was one of my jokes up there. I was talking about how Donald Trump wanted to fuck his daughter. Some 19-year-old who's a fucking idiot just talking on stage.
Knows nothing about,
anything.
Politics.
No, nothing.
Yeah, let's talk about Trump.
Doesn't know anything about anything, really. And so that's what I was going to go up there and do. And I needed to get so many people to show up, and thank God not all the people I invited showed up. only my best friend, which is a good person to have there when you bomb.
Yeah.
And then these two other people who doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
I show up and I'm already nervous because I know I'm not prepared. I know I want to go and do this shit that I haven't tried out yet. And I'm still nervous about it. So I get there, I'm already nervous, and I ask the guy running it, I'm like, oh, where's the list? Where am I on the list? I'm first.
Oh, no.
Which is already a death sentence if you're a comic in general. I shouldn't say a death sentence, but it's a tough spot to go because there's nothing to go off of.
Yeah, you can see what the crowd is laughing at, what the other comics are saying. Like, oh, they like jokes about this, this, and this. Not ripping off that comic, but you know, oh, I can push the envelope a little bit with these people.
Yeah, you get an idea of the crowd.
Yeah.
And you're able to read the room. So I was first. I didn't get to read the room. So I went up there and I had like 6 minutes and I absolutely bombed. Like bombed. Not a single, not a shred, whatever the fuck, of laughter. Nothing,
6 minutes, not one laugh?
Of quiet.
Oh.
It felt like a half hour, bro. If you want to make the most out of your time, stand in front of people for 6 minutes and say jokes that not only aren't funny, but are terribly offensive.
Yeah. That sounds... You didn't stick around for a drink after, did you?
I watched the whole rest of the show.
Really?
In absolute agony.
Yeah.
Because everybody after me, this was the kicker, every person after me...
Killed.
So it wasn't the audience.
No.
It wasn't the audience this time. It was 1,000% me.
Learning experience.
Yes. Huge learning experience.
Yeah. Work out your material before you get the hell up there.
But after that, anytime the guy who put the show together would hit me up and say, hey, I got an open mic here. You want this? I got a spot here for you. I'd be like, yeah, sure, and just not show up.
Yeah.
I stopped showing up progressively more and more and more because I would literally close my eyes and think about that moment, and I'd have to shake it out of my head.
Yeah.
I'd have to be like, fuck.
And then when you start canceling, when you finally first do the first cancel, it's easier to keep canceling.
Yes, that's the big thing. Once you run from one thing, it's easier to run from everything else.
Best thing to do is get back up on the horse. Talking from zero experience whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you have experience in other ways.
Yeah.
Where, you eat shit and you're like, damn, I feel like shit, but the best way is to kind of get active and try again. Like you said, get up on the horse.
I mean, when you beat me at Tap Cancer Out.
Yeah, you went back to training, though.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, and then it took me, I don't know, if I stopped when I was 19, it took me 5 years to get back up on stage.
Yeah.
But now I have no intentions of getting off.
That's awesome. You get like addicted to it? Is it like one of those things like when you first start grappling or something, like this is the best thing ever, I got to do this every day?
Yes.
Are you kind of feeling the same thing with comedy?
Yeah. And I've always, maybe you can attest to this, going off on a mental health riff here.
Yeah.
I have always, for the majority of my life, found it tough to consider myself a part of the group.
Yeah, I feel like me and you are similar in the aspect where we think we have to be the funny guy in order to fit in.
Well, I definitely do feel like my advantage is being a funny guy.
Yeah.
But just in terms of like being a part of the group, like for example, I'll give you this. For the first 2 or 3 years of me working at the restaurant I work at, I didn't hang out with anybody.
No.
I didn't get drinks with anybody. I felt personally that I didn't want to be a part of the crowd. Even when I trained at Triforce MMA, people were cliquish there. People were friends with each other, whatever. And I was friendly with people.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to make the impression that I am part of this. We're all part of this together, and I'm part of... I don't know why. It makes me feel weird.
Yeah, you're kind of like pushing away that community aspect of it.
Yeah. And there's been rare times in my life where I have felt connected to the community.
Yeah.
When I was on a football team when I was a kid. When I was on the wrestling team in high school. And now, for whatever reason, comedy. I want to meet people. I want to network with people.
Yeah.
And when you get that want, in whatever field you're in, podcasting, I want to make this podcast work. Like, you kind of have to embrace the community. You have to be a part of it.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're, like, especially with podcasting, we're all working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
Like, I know me personally, when someone says, oh, I'm starting a podcast, I'm like, fuck you, this is my space. It's like, oh, awesome, cool, yeah, let's talk about how we can get on each other's shows. Like, let's build this up together.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's you gain more from elevating.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And you also learn better when you teach.
Yeah.
when you've gotten some experience, you've been doing a podcast for a year. If somebody came up to you and said, I have zero experience doing a podcast, you can say, hey, I've done it for a year. I might be able to help you out.
Yeah.
You know, and then through that, you might be like, I'm showing this guy a way that's a little more efficient than the way that I'm doing that I didn't even think of until I was showing this person this.
Yeah, and I see that a lot with Kyle and I because he did podcasting before.
Mm-hmm.
He did like his own solo thing, and then we started it when he was visiting from Bali, and kept it going when he left. And we help each other work through things, not even podcasts, but even I'll be like talking about a problem and just talking it out and speaking. I'll work it out in my head. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't really think about that until I started like putting it out in the universe.
I mean, a lot of it is just a lot of learning anything is being able to bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're alone.
No.
You know, you need kind of a crew. You need that community.
Yeah, and you need someone that will put you in your place and say that kind of you don't want to go there.
Yes. Yeah, that's important as well. That's almost like a mentor aspect.
Yeah.
A little different.
Yeah, I think you need friction to, get to that better place. Ooh,
oh, you're fine.
Rookie.
Happens all the time.
Doing this for a fucking year.
Yeah. I've learned that community aspect and the bouncing ideas aspect off of watching one of the best network television shows ever.
Let's hear it.
House.
Never watched it.
You never watched House?
Never watched House.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
It is free on Amazon Prime. There's 8 seasons, 24 episodes a season. Crazy.
Hour-long episodes or half-hour?
They're like 45 minutes.
It's a lot of commitment.
Dude, it is the coolest. I mean, some people might think I'm a fucking weirdo for this, but it is one of the coolest shows I've ever watched. It's weird. I don't know why.
I can't judge you yet, but if I watch it, I will follow up with my thoughts.
The thing about the show is, aside from how well it's made and the character development and blah, 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 the main guy, Dr. Gregory House, is a fucking... He's known as, like, the best diagnostician in the country. Mm-hmm. He's, like... But he's a maniac. Like, he's crazy. He only does what he thinks is right.
He's a sociopath kind of, right?
Yeah. He doesn't care about ethics. He doesn't care about any of that shit. Whatever he thinks is going to save the patient.
He's a loose cannon.
Yes. Yeah. Very much so. But the way he operates is he has a crew, like a team. He has like a team of 3 other doctors.
Yeah.
That he can be like, all right, this is happening. These are the symptoms. This guy's bleeding out of his ass. His fucking head is 3 times the size. Like, it's these crazy fucking stories.
Oh, yeah.
It's like meant to be that way. And he's like, all right, what are the things that point to that? And they're like, well, it could be this, it could be that. And he's like, no, it's not that, but it could be. And then it's just like, let's test for this. And it's just kind of a testament that you can kind of learn shit from the stupidest mediums.
Yeah.
You know, like there's stuff to be learned from everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like a fucking TV show that was on network television, whatever it was, NBC, CBS, whatever the fuck it was, because most of those suck.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them are garbage.
It always depends in which lens you're looking through when taking in information or media.
Yeah.
You can learn something from anything.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, I mean, that's a skill in and of itself. If you're able to kind of take something from, to even just get an idea. I mean, there's a quote that I think it was Pablo Picasso. He said, I should look this up by now because I say it all the time. Yeah. And I always say, I think it's Pablo Picasso. Yeah. But I never have confirmed it.
Let me wrongfully quote this man. Yeah.
But he had a great quote, and it's like, good artists create, great artists steal. Which is interesting, right? Because you see, like, Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Right? That motherfucker was MJ, more or less, right? Spitting image in the way they played.
Yeah, like kind of modeling your style after someone else.
Yes.
Learn from the greats before you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's interesting though because a guy like him, who had such an interesting painting style, a style that eventually became known as abstract. Yeah. Where did he steal it from? He's basically pointing to the fact that he stole it from something. Yeah. You know,
that's his greatest secret. That's why he's so famous.
Yeah.
The other guy would be famous if he gave it away.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, shit, brother. We are, I think we can wrap this bitch up. This has been a lovely conversation, man.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, next time we'll do it. If you end up in Connecticut and I end up in Connecticut, we'll do it, and it'll be on a weekend night or something so we can get hammered and really ruin jobs, right?
Yeah, really ruin lives. Yeah, that's a good idea.
When can people listen to your show? When does it come out?
We drop every Monday, typically.
Okay.
So back to the drunk thing. I know we're wrapping up here, but
Yeah.
we went 2 weeks without releasing because for the 50th we were just ripping shots.
Nice.
And had a lot of editing to do. So we just dropped the first half of it today. Next half's going to be out next Monday, but typically Monday at 5.
Nice. Okay. And it is Doubly Negative, correct?
Doubly Negative, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube soon. We just got video. We're going to start doing video now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw you guys got some good cameras.
And,
Camera.
Yeah, a camera. A webcam.
Right.
Because he's in Bali, so it's tough. But yeah, check it out.
Where else can people see updates? What's your social media?
I just put it on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure my Instagram handle is Tito Bulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go, motherfuckers.
Almost
We're
positive.
done. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your Thursday, motherfuckers. Peace.
Woo.